How's it going, everyone? What is going on today? Looks like the dollar is still climbing for a reversal. I'm back in the channel after it broke through, so now we got a whipsaw. We've got a reverse head and shoulders form. I'm guessing this is going to come back into support here shortly after we double top today. So for a retracement back in, hopefully when that happens, we can get a little better balance off the gold and silver market. Because right now it's pretty lame. It's expecting a little bit more of a burst out of bottom. Nice bounce. Somehow it's being up down. So look for the dollar to retrace, form a reversal, head and shoulders, you on to the other side of the channel. When it gets over there to the other side of the channel, we'll have to talk and see where we're from there, but that's the goal. It's natural course of return, back up inside that pattern to the other side. Boom, boom. S&P. S&P, the 1-2 punch, right over resistance. Looks like a base here. Came off the bottom, came up, right into support, taking out this reversal bar right now. So it came through, came out of the pattern, came back into the 8, so that's the 1-2 punch. So broke out, throw back, and then now it wants to go higher. That's a bullish move. I expect it to break out. Don't know how or why, but he's going higher, it looks like, for previous supports. I got the VIX coming out of the bottom. Pretty tight down there. See how that the 8 comes down, and you can see how the price is hugging it. And now I got a 3-bar pattern on the bottom. I got a 2-bar reversal coming across the 8. I expect it to come up into this 13 area, come back into support. So the VIX is churning. But it doesn't make sense because S&P is going to shoot up. So we'll see what happens. It's getting kind of weird out there. USD to the yen. Looks bullish. Came over the 4, did not hesitate, came down just for a tad. And you got to keep a watch on those bullish retracements that don't come all the way back in and then all of a sudden pop up and make previous highs. Those are the explosions that occur. When it doesn't come all the way back in, that means the momentum is higher than usual and it takes a leg up. So watch for those little bullish retracements. Most of the time I like to expect it to come all the way back into support. But this is not the case. This was very explosive outside there. And took another leg up today. Looks bullish, closing on its highs as well. Let's see, Dow Jones. Dow Jones putting up a double top there. Boom, boom. Lower high. Close below the 8. Momentum is dying. Something's going to happen in thrust out of that mess, or it's going to come back in. So first signs of weakness is in the Dow, where the S&P is just the opposite. Let's take another hike up. We'll see what happens, though. It looks like the Dow tried to break out, rejected. Going back to the S&P, maybe we can see that tomorrow as it breaks out and rejected. But so far, it looks like a bullish move outside the resistance there, previous highs. NASDAQ. I think I saw a reversal bar. Let's narrow in and see what that is. Looks like a long-legged doji on the high side. That's a reversal bar. So is that reversal bar over here. So let's see what happens on the open. If it opens up and confirms that reversal bar and keeps up, then that is a hammer doji. Well, not a hammer at all, is it? Just call it a doji. Decision day with a long leg pointing down. And I'm thinking it's going to be a hammer type because the wick on top is not pointing up. When you get a bunch of wicks pointing up, you can see that the price comes down, but just pointing down, that means knocked out the bottom. Knocked out the bottom, knocked out the bottom. So we'll see what happens. It's got to continue. If it takes the previous low break out, watch out below, because that is very steep. Very, very steep there. Look at that, how steep it is. Not any support when you got steep lines like that. There's no amount of support that will hold you up. So, NASDAQ looks like a reversal. We'll have to see. Does it confirm on the upside or confirm to the down? One of these days it's going to whip down and we're all going to wonder, how come I didn't see that coming? Be a shame for a lot of people out there. Looks like crude decided, oh, well, I'm going back above support. And that's where we're at. Closed above the 8. Went through resistance, or through support, back through resistance. Now we got support closing above the line, above previous. Looks like reversal's in effect. If it can keep going, use that 8 as your support on the way up. I imagine after a nice pop like that, it's going to hit back into support and climb, climb, climb. Nice whipsaw. Through support, back through resistance. Closed above resistance, above the 8. We got support for the short term. On the Nikkei, it's hanging high. We got the rounded top going. It's got to come back into support sometime. And it's kind of lost its juice after the last 2 days. But coming back into support, it's always healthy, so look for that. Otherwise, if it wants to keep going, watch for previous high breaks on the open. Coal, look how tight that is on the bottom there. I'm on still anyway, make sure I didn't change that. So, what do we got? I got a double bottom. I got the AB bottom. I got a reversal. Came over the 34, made a lower high. Boom, 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 boom. Look how tight it's getting right here. That's the pinch between support and resistance. Resistance is the 34 on the upside. Support that it's been climbing up over is the 13 and the 8. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's getting real tight in there. You can see how tight it is. Hit the 34, back into the support. Hit the 34 today, back into support. Bam, bam, bam. Until it busts out of there. So look for that. It's bullish. The two bar pattern working. I got the double bottom working. Lots of bullishness coming off of this bottom. 10-year coming across the 34 today. Yesterday. Looks bullish. Looks like previous high break coming. Let's see, it came into support real rapidly. Had a reversal there, outside day. Came in. That's a bullish Pearson pattern. Opened down, closed all the way in, closing on its highs. Watch for a previous high break on 10-year. That looks bearish. Closing below previous lows. Yeah, looks like Shane Composites just lost its juice there. I have to do another opposing point. More like a double bottom now. Closing on its lows, if it's gonna break, it's gonna be very sharp. That's a rather bad candle that closed just above support, the previous low. Closing on its lows though, so I gap over support, just to show how bearish it is. It's rolling over. I was very excited about Shanghai Composite off the bottom here. I hit a bunch of hammers, long-legged dojis. Looks like it's turning over. The work up top. The long-term pattern. Look for a whipsaw. Look for all that throwback stuff. Through support, back through. Been seeing that a lot lately. See if that works out for us. Right now, I got a double bottom working from double top. So who's going to win? Who is going to win? All right, gold. Gold making a low again. We made a low here, came back up, made another low, coming back in. It's doing that little dance. Made a support line on this low. Came up, came back in, came up, came back in. Pretty weak price range today. It's horrible. Just looking for a nice little snapback into the 8. That's my first move, back into the 8. Doesn't look like it's ready yet. Let's see how we get on the 4-hour. Looks like I got a double bottom forming. I got 2 bottoms. I got the A, B bottom, and then I got the crossover the 8 back in as a lower high. So I got an elaborate 4-hour head and shoulders. But support's got to hold. The only thing holding it up is that 2-bar pattern here. And previous lows, obviously. Previous frames, or previous price ranges. Looked good for a little jump yesterday. Didn't add up too much, did it? It got rejected. I do have a double bottom higher low. All right, so let's just play with it. But closing on its lows again on 4-hour chart. I have to keep going. Silver, on the other hand, is good. Came over. Back in, back in, back in. Looks like it's found support. I got another elaborate reverse head and shoulders. So let's get a punch out of this and start riding on up into previous lows, into the 34, the natural course of return. But look how weak that bounce was. I mean, come on. How far can it be pulled back and then not bounce? It's absolutely ridiculous. Look how straight down that is. I think it'll be ours. We're finding a little bit of support. Support's got to hold. Always, when these moves happen over the 8 and 13 back into the 8, that 8 has to hold. The previous lows have to hold. Support has to hold on these moves. But once you cross over the 8, you can relax a little bit, let it come back in. And then all we need to do is break previous highs into previous lows, ride that range into the next range, So I'm thinking 1640 on any kind of run. I got resistance at 1635. So let's look for a run into 1635, come back into support and build a bottom. We're very, very short on any kind of price pattern breaks. All we have is a cross over the 8 so far. But support is holding, so that is good so far. Copper's coming over support again. See if we can hold this time. It's a 4-hour chart. Let's get back to the daily on the rest of these. I'm looking for a pullback on Bitcoin as it hit pretty sharply that 1800, but it hasn't stopped yet. Right now it's consolidating over around 1762. I say that it's going to come in for a pullback because it hit that 1792 was the mark. Hit 18, the emotional spot on the chart. I think it's going to come and pull back because it's pretty much straight up into the 18 and it got stopped out. And it's been hesitant for a few hours. So I'm looking for a sharp pullback. Maybe the coins can pick up the pace on the pullback. Gold to silver ratio. Looks like silver is the better buy still. 75 ounces of silver per 1 ounce of gold. It's a pretty good deal for silver. Damn. Got to load the trucks up on physical metals as we come into a bottom. And we will hit them. Once it happens, it's not going to ask permission to jump on up. Looks like GDX found a bottom. We need to hold support as it might hit the 13 first, or is it going to come back into support to cover the gap? Make sure that the support holds. Pretty nice line of support there. Crossing over the 8, come back into the 8. Let's see where we can pick up the pieces here. We got a double bottom forming. GXJ. Same thing, coming over the 8. Nice hammer on GXJ a couple days ago. See the hammer? Take out that hammer on the side. Whoever noticed that, bam, gap. Nice hammer. Little pop on nugget. Everything's doing the same thing on the miners. Finally, something to cheer about. Crossing over the 8. Looks like we got some semblance of a tiny bit of support. Just stay above the 8 from now on. All the way back up. There's the move down. We had a falling star on GST, but here's the thing. It's coming back into support. It crossed over the 34, came back into support. Its natural course is all the way down into the 34, maybe a little bit further. You never know. Could be sprung back and then let go. Hopefully this bullish retracement consolidation pattern will fail because this is the 3 times bear. So when gold is down, GDST is up. We want just the opposite. We want this bullish consolidation pattern to fail, fall over, so we can get some gold and silver runs. I got a bullish piercing pattern, opening down, closing up. It's not a complete bullish pierce pattern because it didn't close previous pattern or previous candle 50% above. It's close, very close. Let's just call it a bullish piercing pattern just for fun. Why not? So it crossed over the 8, came back into support. So let's see if that support holds. Very thin right now. We need to get it above it for a shorter, a little bit more time, and then just a pop in the back in. So let's see if that is a nice little bullish piercing pattern to start off another bullish move or a bottom move. off of steel. Let's see, AG, all right, AG across resistance, closing above resistance, closing above the 8, popping across the 8, closing above resistance. Now we got some support. That looks like a little thin line of support. Watch this to come back in, make an opposing point. We have a small opposing point there, but look, we need an opposing point to find that trend line. So we can get that trend line going. We need an opposing point. So what I'm saying is that move across resistance becoming support is probably pretty thin for it to come back in. Otherwise, if it wants to keep going, watch the resistance on the way up. The previous highs coming in, previous lows coming in. That 13 is a nice little sweet spot, about 825, call it 8. Here it looks like uranium picked up. Nice 3-bar pattern. Look for the reversal. I got our head and shoulders. Look for the comeback into support scenario. Closing on its highs though. Look at that. UECs took off, huh? Wow. Good job. Nice and big hammer on the bottom. 3-bar pattern confirmed. Bam. Closing above the 34. URRE resistance back into support. There you go. That's what we're looking for. That's the start of the move. At the V bottom, point. Let's start climbing on it. URRE. And Ivanhoe having a little trouble. That looks like the bearish retracement back into resistance. It's got to have a little gusto to get back above support. So right now it got rejected. So look for the bearish retracement to confirm onto the downside. That's how it's done. Now I got another 3-bar pattern working on Apple. And a little congestion at the top there, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's hanging on a thread. Previous low breaks, watch out below. It's pretty steep. And I think I'll have a day there. NAK. Bam! Nice job. Back into the support. Look for this to go higher. That's a pretty good move right there. Came across. Got shoved down. Blasted through. And then came all the way back in. That would have been a perfect bar right there. Close all the way up. Looks good. Watch for the move and support, but got a nice little trend working. It's pretty good. Nice moves coming off of NAK. And I'm going to call it a day there. If you can, please donate. Things are tough around here. Apparently, being self-employed, got to pay 2 months taxes to. It's a joke. Pay way too much taxes. Anywho's, let me know what's going on out there, and still watching for that bottom. Load up the truck on gold and silver. Do yourself a favor. I don't think it's going to get this much cheaper. I seriously doubt when you miss the bottom, you're not going to be able to grab those prices again. But let me know what's going on out there. Please share, like, and comment, and I'll see you.